Yo, 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 good morning. Grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt, Jersey Shore. Check it out. So, someone asked me to speak on the subject of emptiness. So, this is going to take, if you're following the videos progressively in the linear fashion, I'm kind of presenting the subject matter. This is going to really not, of course it's part of it, but it's straying from that sequential order. But we've already talked about conditionality, which is the third truth to the existence of suffering, and the non-self. And I don't believe I spoke about emptiness in that video simply because I'm trying to keep these videos as short and sweet as possible. So, emptiness. Not part of the original Buddhist teachings, part of the Mahayana Buddhist teachings, which came later. So if you care about stuff like that, great. If not, not a big deal. Find in the teachings what resonates for you and pursue it. So emptiness. Emptiness does not mean nothing. It doesn't mean non-existence. It means that anything and everything is empty of a permanent, fixed existence, that nothing exists inherently on its own. Everything exists based on conditions. So a simple Buddhist teaching is because of this, there's that, because of that, there's this. So that's not an oversimplification, it's just a simple way of putting it. So emptiness just means that nothing exists inherent from anything else. And when we explore emptiness, to live in the material world, we need concepts, we need labels. We need to communicate, we need to have recognition, we need to have an understanding of what the labels represent. So, and that's fine, but what this teaching is about, and really what all spiritual teaching is about, is piercing the illusion. And what is that illusion? The illusion is to not get caught up in the labels and concepts, but to be not separate, because they separate us from the experience of what they represent. Right? So what I mean by that is a lot of times we're in our mind intellectualizing based on labels and concepts, and it's not correlating with the truth of the real experience. So some simple examples are, you can read a book about swimming and you can talk about it, but until you jump in the water, you're not going to know a thing about how to swim, right? And that's what Zen is about, separating, not being separated intellectually from the true experience. So I'll give you a couple examples of emptiness that I like. So if I do this, right, instantly that label brings the thought in your head of fist, right? And from that perception of a fist, you can have a couple different responses. One would be if how I gesture with it and what we're experiencing. So it could be at, some kind of protest, yo, brother, power for the people. Or, and that would trigger in you enthusiasm, happiness, empowerment. Or you could take this as a physical threat, and it could trigger in you fear. It could trigger anger and hostility and resentment, whatever, hate. But what is a fist? And what is the experience of fist? A fist is empty because it's just the concept we've laid over a closed hand, right? Our mind sends an impulse through the nervous system down our arm to our hand and fingers, telling it to close. And we've now made this, which somewhere Someone along the way said, let's call that a fist. But it's empty of any permanent existence because it's dependent on all those things happening, right? But we can get so triggered by these labels, and I'll give you a better example about it, or another example, but I do think it's better about how instantly we can be triggered. Right? We instantly, in our mind, see, hear, feel with every fiber of our being. This guy just flipped me off, told me to fuck myself, right? But again, all this is our mind sending an impulse down the arm, through the nervous system, to the hands, telling us to do this gesture. That gesture is nothing without the label we give to it. So somewhere along the line, someone put a label on this and a concept that this was bad, negative, and it meant fuck you. But this is empty of any inherent fuck you-ness, right? It's nothing but a closed hand with one finger up. Why does this mean such a negative thing, but this doesn't? Or this doesn't? Why does this mean something? Why, if I do this, does it create such an experience? But the experience is not this. The experience is my response to it, right? So if a Zen master said, show me fist. Yes, on one level, in a relative sense, this is fist. But in a universal sense, this is fist as well. But the experience of fist, he's not looking for an intellectual answer. So what I would show him is this. The experience of fist is being hit, right? So emptiness is about seeing how the minute we have a reaction to a label or concept, we intellectualize it and we go off on a narrative or story about it, and it's not rooted in the true experience. We need to acknowledge the labels and concepts, but see through them, see past them to what's really going on, and not get stuck in our heads and not be separated by what's truly happening. So I hope that was helpful. It can be a really complicated subject. And Zen likes to say the more we talk about a subject, the more we complicate it, and the more farther away we get from the truth of it. So, and that's why Zen is rooted in experience rather than intellectualizing and verbalizing that intellectualization, right? So I'm going to get back to my run, and I hope that was helpful. Peace out.